Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, I'm here aboard MS Trollfjord, Hurtigrutens coastal Norwegian ship. We're on the Svalbard Express, and we're actually sailing, as you can see in the background, through the Norwegian fjords. I'm with Jill Sandvik, as I got that right? And we're going to talk, she's the hotel director who is responsible for all the accommodations, the dining, everything else here, and it is a marvelous ship. So we're going to talk about what your clients are going to get when you're up here, and it's blowing a little bit now, it's not that bad, and you're going to find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Jill, first of all, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful cruise so far. We still luckily have a few more days left, which is fantastic, but you've been a great host.
Thank you. We're so lucky to have you here also, and you're lucky with the weather.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, the Norwegian, it's just the beautiful sunny skies and everything else, right?
We're above the Arctic Circle, and you can see we are in T-shirts outside. It's too warm wearing jackets, so how lucky you are.
Yeah, well, when we were up in Svalbard, it was a little cooler, but it was still beautiful weather. Yeah. And now we're down in the Norwegian fjords, but it's been a marvelous cruise. The weather has held so far. Let's talk a little bit about how long have you been working at Hurtigruten?
Oh, I've been in the company for 7 years.
Okay.
I was ashore before that, working in hotel and restaurant management. And then I started as a hotel manager 7 years ago on a different ship than this one.
So how long have you been on this ship?
A year and a half.
Okay. So
I was on the coastal route before we go to the yard and started preparing for the Svalbard Express. I've been in the process on doing this one. So
this one was actually renovated like 2 years ago, I think, and so it really last year. So it feels brand new. It was a renovation in 2023, I believe, and so it really it feels amazing, and it doesn't feel like it's not that old a ship anyway, but it now has all the modern amenities. And let's talk about that, the comforts on board. And I guess I'll start with all the suites and cabins. How many suites and cabins do they have roughly on?
We have 21 suites, total cabins, not so sure, 224 I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. And then we can carry up to about 500 guests, right?
Yes, our certificate is 500.
Okay.
That's due to the polar code and things like that.
Well, I'm glad. We don't have a full complement on this. It's almost 400. It's about 300. But I got lucky enough to be put in a suite, and it really it's a wonderful suite. You don't have to, if it's cold, you can just stay in the suite, and there's a marvelous picture bay window that you can watch everything in. But let's talk about that. What are the advantages? What are the amenities that you have in these suites?
When you are located in a suite, when you upgrade to a suite, then you have all of the restaurants available. You have everything in the bar available, drinks included. Of course, the best restaurant, Rust. I guess you've been there.
Yeah, something telling been there. In fact, I think I'm OD'd on tasting dinners after a while. And I was joking about that the other day. I've had already 2 tasting dinners. Usually it's about a 5-course, but I had the big one, which was about 9 or 10 courses. And this came just on top of, I had a wonderful meal in Svalbard at a wonderful restaurant. I'm blanking on the name right now that Hurtigruten owns. That it was just, I interviewed the chef too, which I shouldn't forget about that, but he had an 18-course. So within 3 days, I had 4 tasting menus in a row. No more tasting menus. It's death by tasting menus, but the food is absolutely superb.
Yes. That's also what you see when you are in the suites, because it's, as I said, 21 suites, and the restaurant, they get to know you. You get really personal contact with the chefs, with the waiters, everybody who is there. So I think they make everything for you. So I guess it feels like you're coming home when you're out there eating, because they take so good care of you. They get to know you. They know what you want for breakfast, so they just start
absolutely
preparing.
do. They've been come up to me already. I said the magic before I had the word say I want orange juice that was in my glass, and same for my cappuccino. They know you, and it is really a wonderful service. But the suites themselves, the amenities on board, the furnishings, it is one of the most comfortable suites I've been in. I got to tell you.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Thank you very much. And of course, we make sure that you have clothing, so you get a jacket, you get sweaters, you get hats, you get binoculars, so you can have and go outside, look for whales, look for the polar bear when you're on Longyearbyen. So there are really things and treats that you get on the suites that you don't get in the other cabins.
No,
it's worth it.
It is definitely worth it. And although I understand that you may not want to see a polar bear, but that's another story. Because we were out in Ny-Ålesund, which is the northernmost town in the world, mostly a research town now. And we went out to explore, and the guys with the guns were following us just in case. And the guy said, "Yeah, we saw a polar bear sighting." They said a few days ago. We got to be careful. So, as much as you all want to see polar bears, the polar bears want to see you too. But that's another story. So it's for a different reason. Now let's talk a little bit about. I was definitely surprised at how comfortable, how spacious, how wonderful the food was. And let's talk about the food. You have 3 restaurants on board, right?
Yes, we have 3 restaurants. 2 of them are included for all of the passengers we have. And the third one is, of course, included for the guest. And you can upgrade if you want to. So when you are on regular cabins, you can upgrade to treat yourself in a really good 5-course menu in Røst if you want to. So
you could go to those tasting menus if you want for a price, absolutely. And it's worth it, believe me, if you're down. Yeah. And the other cabins are lovely too. It really is amazing. Now, what are some of the other amenities on board? I know you don't have a pool. You have a very cold pool. It's right across. Yeah. We jump off the ship here, and you don't have a spa per se, but you do have a sauna, right?
We have a sauna and a gym, so you can go eating, and we have a lot of tasting also outside on deck when we gather everyone. And we have what we call the Norway Coastal Kitchen, and then we do a tasting. The chef presents is just a small special treats. So there is food all the time. It's like everybody who's on there, we're full. We can't feel hunger at any time.
I think I know the feeling. Yeah. I've been eating mostly in Roost, but as we were talking about, there are 2 other restaurants. There's actually almost like I call it a steakhouse. I don't know. What is that? What is that?
It's a Sami-inspired restaurant, a brasserie. So there's a lot of reindeer there and Arctic chars and other specialities from Norway, of course, because we do local providers on the coast. So we have 50 local providers that we use on the coast.
Okay, so actually I think I have a reindeer in my future tonight because I'm supposed to be booked at 5 o'clock because I have a 6:30 excursion. Yeah. And that's one of the things, we should mention when we're going to talk to the excursion manager hopefully a little later, but the excursions here go a little later. They're usually, in my case, the evenings, not in the mornings necessarily. So we'll be going out on a Zodiac this evening, and I'm going to go kayaking and hiking and all this kind of thing. But before that, I'm going to go to this wonderful restaurant that you were talking about with the Sami inspired. And then, of course, there's the main restaurant, which I've had lunch in a few times, and it's wonderful as well.
Yes, it is. That's a buffet for breakfast and lunch, and set menu during dinner time. But then you can choose between 3 courses, 3 starters, 3 main, 3 desserts. So you can just pick and choose what you'd like. So it's kind of like a la carte down there also for what you would like to eat.
Well, I got to tell you, as we were talking about, you're not going to go hungry on the ship, and the food is really magnificent with a local twist, a very big local twist, and that's perfect. Now, we go out to about 125,000 travel advisors in the U.S. who are going to be booking Hurtigruten, hopefully this cruise, or there's 2. There's one in the summer and one in the winter. There's the Cape Cruise, which is the winter one, and we're on the Svalbard Express. What would you tell those advisors to tell their clients about how to best experience this ship if they're going to come aboard?
Best experience to be on the ship is just to be. You just need to be calm. You just need to be present. Because Norway is really a beautiful country, and you're going to see places that you haven't seen. And we are sailing in small, really beautiful towns and places, and it's not the big cities that's the issue for us. We would like to support the locals, so that's what we do. And be on the daily gathering, get the information about where we are going the day after, because we only have 1 stop a day, sometimes 2, but usually just 1 stop a day. So it's sailing and just sitting, seeing the beautiful country, seeing the beautiful scenery, getting the lectures, relaxing with the food, with a good book. Sometimes you don't have time to read anything either because the scenery is so beautiful. You just want to be outside.
I tried that the other day. I tried to read a book, and I'm in my suite. They have almost a picture bay window, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading the book, and I'm looking at the scenery. The book is suddenly gone, and suddenly I'm actually going to sleep. But that's another story. So it really was it's wonderful, wonderful way to relax. And of course, you can be active. I think I signed up, strangely enough, for things like hiking and biking and things like that. So you can and kayaking. I forgot about that. So those are 3 of my excursions yet to come. You may see them later, and so you can be active as well on this ship.
You can be active also when we are ashore, because we have from 4 to 7 hours on each stop that we are. So you can be really active. You can go hiking in the mountains by yourself. You can go hiking. You can just go look at the town that you are in. And of course on deck also, on the ship, you can go around the ship if you want to. You can go to the gym, so you
don't have to be active. And actually, the only thing about this is you're going to eat so well that you're going to have to want to be a little active. I felt like after the tasting dinner, I really needed to be active. And the plus thing about it here, you can be active, and it's always light, because this is the land of the midnight sun. It never gets dark unless you want to take the Cape cruise, which then it's going to be dark a lot. But that's another story. That's the one, in case you were wondering. You see the northern lights. This is the cruise with the midnight sun. Let's get it right, because a lot of people think, oh, I want to go see the northern lights, and they're doing it in the summer. We're not seeing them here.
No, you're not. You're not seeing it during summertime. Only during wintertime when it's dark.
Absolutely.
Dark and cold.
So it's a reason to come back.
Yes,
I'll have to come back for the dark experience sometime. Jill, I want to thank you very much for spending the time on this beautiful day here, where we don't. This is fine. We're having a wonderful time. I came up on deck this morning and I said, I don't really need a sweatshirt here. Svalbard, I needed a little something, but that was different. But again, you have a marvelous ship. Thank you so much. And the cuisine and the whole service, the wait staff, the service staff in the rooms is really fantastic.
Thank you. They do it by heart, I can say. They really, all of the crew we have, they really love what they do. So you experience to be a part of the family when you come as a guest on our ship. That's what you experience.
Well, thank you again. And here I am, James Schillinglaw for Insider Report here on the MS Trollfjord, sailing in the fjords of Norway. And this is Insider Travel Report.